And with that sweet 80s/90s guitar riff and ballad, you have us back once again. It is the Triple S crew. That's right, your favorite nerds with some words. And we're back this week with issue 56. It's me, the Sundance Kid himself, aka DJ.
It is me, Slick, the 80s hair metal Vic.
It's what? It's I
Yeah,
don't
I
understand.
got the
It's me,
long
space
80s
case,
hair.
space confused case
We'll
because
get
of what Victor said.
We'll get it
AKA
one of
Vince.
these days.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
Wow.
But this week,
Can we go back to what were you saying? What about hair metal?
Yeah,
I
what's
got
going
like the
on?
long 80s hair metal going on right now. Oh, you guys haven't seen it? You guys see me all the time.
I mean, I haven't seen you in like a couple of weeks. Yeah, I mean,
Let's
Yeah,
let
I
him
got
go
like a
on.
long
Yeah.
mane, dog. Hold on. Oh, dude. And then it's long.
Anyways, guys, welcome back. Issue 56. Glad to have you back. Victor is gonna put his hair back in a ponytail. There's nothing wrong with ponytails or man buns. They're a little 2013, but that's okay.
We don't judge.
So we're going over something real spicy today. You guys can see by the topic. We're going to go over the Netflix cancellation of Cowboy Bebop. But before we get to it, I've been meaning to do this the last like 2 weeks. We're doing giveaway stuff. We're giving away this bad boy, which Victor, give us the quick synopsis on this. What is this?
Oh, it's the Spider-Man gallery statue from that was 2020's actually release. They did it for the holiday edition. It's really cool. It's a wall-mounted edition. There's only so many of them made. I always refer to them when people buy any gallery statues or Iron Studio statues as like buying a pair of Jordans, as in there's only so many out there. It's a really cool piece. And we're releasing it around the time now because Spider-Man's coming out. So I thought it was kind of neat, and we all collectively did. Look at those goblin orbs.
Super neat. Yeah, if you guys want to win it, like Victor said, it's kind of a limited edition Spider-Man, super cool, super funky, fresh statue display. If you guys want to win it, all you have to do is be a subscriber. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're not. And next week, I think Wednesday, right? We're going to announce the winner. And who knows? Maybe we'll do giveaways in the future. We'll keep going with this.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, if our pockets can afford it.
Right. Right.
Apparently these things go for a lot of money, which I was unaware of.
Absolutely.
But that's okay. Tis the season.
Tis is not the season. But anyways, let's get back to it. Like young Vince said before, we do have a kind of saucy topic. Hopefully you have your own thoughts and opinions formulated already if you're watching this, but if not, we're just going to go out and say it. Netflix has canceled Cowboy Bebop's live adaptation series.
Some crazy, unexpected news, to say the least. At least the majority, it seems like it's been pretty unexpected. Or if it's not unexpected, it was kind of like, duh, we knew this was going to happen. And then people were posting it like, see, told you.
So it's funny because it's very down the line from what I've seen. There are people who are just like, yeah, it should have gone canceled. And other people are just like, did you fucking watch the show? Like, one of the best Twitter threads that I saw was like, people act like this show, the original animation was amazing, which it was. They're like, it was amazing and like a cohesive story. No, like 5 episodes made sense. Everything else was just really coked out nonsense. And this show did its best to divulge from that. And I agree with it. If you watch the show, the first 3 episodes, you kind of have to muscle a little bit through it, but then it does come to a really decent story. It's a cop show. It's a space cop show. And I don't know. I love reading the people wanting the show back. It was so weird when I heard it got canceled because there was so much money behind this. Like there was
my god, the budget was so big for the live action. Oh my, I mean, you're doing a space show. So yeah, divided kind of right down the middle. We got 3 people here though. I mean, there's got to be some sort of tiebreaker, at least with us. Not that we're the end all be all of decision makers, and you know, you can totally disagree with us. That's fine.
I'll move my car in a minute. Damn it!
Yeah, and if you listen, someone's getting carjacked outside Victor's house right now. That's okay. We wish them the best.
I have a
what
light
it
in my
is.
house, or behind my house. I have no idea what the hell that was.
If it happens, it happens.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so interesting the way this kind of played out. So Bebop drops and it's instantly in the top 10 of Netflix. I think it was number 1 when it first came out, 1 or 2.
Yeah, it was 1 or 2 for like a week.
Yeah, but you can't trust Netflix with that shit. I mean, any like no disrespect to Netflix, but anytime a new project comes out, it's automatically top 10. Which I mean, I guess, but like also,
See, I didn't want to go all conspiracy here because I thought it was the only one. But now that you say it, I mean, listen, it doesn't not exist that companies like this will promo certain shows to push them because they know, hey, we just threw a shit ton of money to the show, so maybe if we plug it in our top 10, people will watch it instead of them just letting it sit wherever it lands. Like, and it's a smart thing to do. I'm not knocking them for it, but I'm not saying it's true either. Like, I don't know if Netflix would do that or not. But yeah,
maybe.
I mean, a shit ton of money was thrown into this, and typically when we're talking maybe like old school TV at this point, non-streaming TV, we're just talking network TV. A pilot or the first episode gets pitched to a production company, and that production company decides if they are going to greenlight the entire show, but they're only paying for the pilot itself. With Netflix and possibly other streaming companies, I'm not sure how other streaming companies do this, but they will pay for the entire first season. So it's a big leap of faith, and it's because, you know, we can watch an entire season in a day, while old school kind of network TV, you watch it weekly. So you have to, there's a lot of moving pieces in this, and there's a lot of questions still that are unanswered, which hopefully we can answer some of those questions for ourselves and for other people, why it got canceled. And if you really enjoyed the show, kind of explain why you might have wasted 10 hours of your life for something that's never going to come back on TV again. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're kind of going into the details why it got canceled, and I don't know. Initial thoughts from you guys. I mean, the show itself, were you surprised it got canceled, or was it kind of like, yeah, no shit?
Do you want to go first, DJ?
Victor, go ahead.
I was surprised. There's enough acting power in it that was actually pretty good. Like, it was actually really good watching John Cho like act, and like just watching the whole ensemble. They all worked together well. And given with the material that they did, they were able to take some of the stories that were kind of standalone and make it into like a nice little package where, like, if you didn't watch the show and kind of watched it, you'd be like, this is kind of trippy but cool. I was so surprised because they did get pretty good critic reviews, pretty good. Like, there was only like 2 reviews that I saw that were kind of bashing, and they were bashing on the villain. And I was like, okay, but they you can fix this on like a season 2. Like, plenty of bad shows got a season 2, and they got better. Like, there were plenty of shows. I feel like this is going to fall within that demographic of being like a show like Firefly or Freaks and Geeks, where it's going to have like its cult following. If it doesn't get another season, it's going to have that cult following. It's going to be like, this show was amazing. Like, it fell through the cracks of Netflix, because Netflix is, at the end of the day, trying to make their bottom dollar back, and maybe it just didn't get the traction that they were hoping.
Right.
So
I've got some interesting stats. You know me and my stats. I'll get into them in a second here. But DJ, how about you, man? Were you surprised by the news, or were you not surprised at all?
You know what? I was surprised and not surprised. So I was surprised that Netflix itself didn't give them a second season, just because they'll renew like 90% of their shows.
Mhm.
And then like 10% of like freshman seasons they won't renew. So I was kind of surprised, especially with as much advertising went into Cowboy Bebop, and like you saw it like everywhere. Like it was on Twitter, it was on Instagram, it was even on fucking Snapchat. So to see that,
TikTok.
like, yeah, like even TikTok, and like, so to see it not get that second season, I was kind of just like, oh, okay. But at the same time, I kind of figured, all right, so that's cool, I guess. Like I wasn't broken up about it or anything. Like I watched it and there wasn't a lot to like. They kind of just went. They took like the source material and they went and they made their own show, which fair. Okay, Victor said that it was like a cop show, like it was a cop procedural, which is fine. I don't think that's the essence of what Cowboy Bebop is, and that's cool, whatever. Like, if they wanted to make their own take on it, that's fine. But uh, it felt like it was a good show. It just didn't feel like it was a Cowboy Bebop show, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah.
I've only watched the show and the movie, so I don't want to sit here and be like a snob, which I feel like a lot of people did because they're just like, oh, it's not this or it's not that. But then there are certain episodes that are so close, like almost frame for frame shot of like the episodes that people will still complain about. It's like one of those things where like your favorite artist comes out with a new album, and in your head this album that they came out with 20 years ago is like number one, and you never want them to change their style. But then when they do change their style, you're just like, oh, it doesn't sound like the same. It's like, make up your mind. Either you want it to be close to the source material or you want it to be something completely different. It can't
Fall
be
Out Boy.
in the middle. Exactly, it can't be in the middle, dude. Like there's gonna be new stuff that comes out, and like I feel like as long as they're paying like homage to the original, which I felt like there was a lot of episodes that did, but then there were some that was just like in the middle. There was like filler episodes that I didn't really like, but there were some that I'm just like, oh, this feels completely different, and I like it. So I was a little upset because I felt like with a little bit more fine tuning, they probably could have made it into a very, very good show. But we'll never know. So it is what it is.
Yeah, this one's tough. It's a toss up. I'm kind of with you, DJ. I was surprised to hear that it got canceled, and I think the majority of my surprise was how fast it got canceled, because it was out for a month, if that, and it got canceled. According to the interwebs, the viewership started at like 74 million people. And just to put that in perspective, so the US has a population of about 330 million people. So not even a quarter of the US watched this show. So, and this is supposedly like the biggest anime ever, one of the top 10 animes of all time. Something that was like highly anticipated, and it just goes to show you how niche Cowboy Bebop is.
Yeah.
Outside of our little nerd bubble, if you bring up Cowboy Bebop, especially, have you seen the live action one on Netflix? No one knows what you're talking about, boo. No one knows what you're talking about at all. So I think a lot of people that know Cowboy Bebop and took the time to watch it are kind of in this headspace of, oh my God, this is such a big, epic show. Like everybody knows Cowboy Bebop, right? Because in our world, it's top 10 anime, which is everything. But outside of that, 74 million, dude, that's not a lot of people at all. And when you put probably, I'm not going to say $74 million into it, probably a couple $1 million into the production of this, it does not justify to keep going at that viewership count. A lot of people have questions I've seen where they're like, well, what about other shows? How about The Queen's Gambit? It had 76 million views, and it was the top Netflix show last year of all time. So if you're in that boat and kind of confused like I was, the answer to that question is the Queen's Gambit is a limited series. There is no question on a season 2 renewal or not. So that's a little bit different of a story. Same thing with some stats about The Witcher. The Witcher is also an extremely popular show on Netflix. Another show that broke Netflix records when it came out. So The Witcher came out last year, 2020. And it had similar viewership, 76 million views. 2 million less than Bebop. The difference between that is The Witcher, that was consistently watched for 4 weeks straight, while Bebop hit that in 2 weeks and just plummeted.
Steady decline.
Yeah. So again, I think the money put into it as far as production goes, paying the actors and all the advertisement, it's not worth it for Netflix to pick it up.
Definitely weren't recouping that budget.
Yeah, there's no way. Let's talk about this. How likely is it that Netflix either keeps an eye on the viewership, and if it goes up, gives Bebop another shot, or another streaming service picks it up like Paramount or HBO? What do you guys think the likelihood is in that?
It's a toss-up for me, just because I don't know if you guys heard, the creator of the Cowboy Bebop and I think it was like 2 other like renowned animes, he passed away. He passed away last week, like, which is like a big blow, and a lot of people because of that have started a petition to get the show started again.
Right.
But keep in mind, he didn't sign off on the show. Like,
he did. He said he enjoyed it.
Dude, nobody talked to him, man. Nobody talked to him about like pre-production. Like, the cast and the directors were saying that they didn't talk to him about the show.
I thought John Cho met him.
Well,
he said he met him, but like they didn't talk about the show.
He had no part in producing the show at all. They basically paid him. It's like the last season of Game of Thrones, basically. Like, George R.R. Martin is the creator, but the last season is completely created by HBO and those writers. It's the same concept here. They don't own. I don't know that they own the rights. I don't know that technical part, but the creator of the anime had no part in creating the live action.
They've said it from multiple times in interviews. Yeah, like that. And like,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, it just seems like there's too many moving pieces. Like, when other companies try and pick up shows, I mean, you have the production company, right? Then you have the animation company. Then you have the dubbing companies. Then you have the actors who, you know, if their show is canceled, they're obviously going to be looking for other projects, or they've already taken one. Then you got to work around multiple people's schedules and the actors. Then you have to worry about the production team. Can they make the sets in time? Will the CGI look good? There's just too many moving pieces for them to just be like, all right, let's sit and let's watch and let's see what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like there's way too many moving pieces for that.
I could see them doing a movie, like, to wrap it up. Because
I don't know, man. Honestly,
they've made stupider movies.
They have. Yeah, Netflix definitely puts out some really dumb shit sometimes.
No doubt.
Netflix does not swing for the fences all the time.
Adam Sandler's movies. Like, there's like 20 of them on there.
Just put Adam Sandler and Cowboy Bebop. I'll fucking watch it.
Adam Sandler.
Just make Adam Sandler as what's
Spike's
his name?
Spike.
As Spike. Oh no.
Spike's cousin. He's like, hey, what's up, Spike, man?
Whatever his laugh is.
That'd be terrible.
Oh my god. So Victor, you'd mentioned the petition, right, to get this thing back.
Mm-hmm.
Put this into perspective and let me know if this changes your opinion or not. So the way I see it is back to the viewership, right? It got 74 million views. If every single one of those people signed off on that petition, it got 74 million signatures. That is still less than a quarter of just the country we live in. So do you get what I'm saying? Even if that petition got that many signatures to match its viewership, I still don't think that's enough. Because if it wasn't enough to justify keeping the show on, it wouldn't be enough on paper to renew it. They'd be like, Yeah, same stats, bro.
So I'll always say this. If it doesn't get the second season, which it might, or it might get like a movie, it's going to go down as one of those things that it's like it's going to fall in the realm of Community or Freaks and Geeks or Accepted
Don't you
or not.
trash Community like that?
No, Community never got its last season, or it never got a true last season and a movie.
It got the last season,
but it didn't get the movie.
The movie's coming up. We don't know. Okay, 6 seasons of a movie, bro.
Time to change the title right out of the video.
They could come
just
back.
like 6 seasons and a movie.
6 seasons of a movie.
Maybe not Chevy Chase because some of the things he said. I don't know if he'll be in there, but
he's dead in the show. But it's gonna fall in that plethora where people are gonna be like very disappointed it doesn't get its ending, like how Firefly did. Some shows did get their ending in a movie, which was awesome.
I think a very niche crowd is and will be disappointed.
Absolutely.
I don't know, man. The anime to me was, hot take, just kind of okay.
Jesus, what the fuck's wrong with you,
dude? It's not that good. I'm sorry, it's not that.
Gorgeous.
There's so many other.
Dude, the drawing
it's
style
gorgeous.
is that cliche,
that's not what I'm watching a show for. I'm not watching a show to look at things. I'll look at a
read a fucking book. Like,
oh my god,
you fucking psych. You watch Cowboy Bebop and you were like, "This is good." You're like,
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. It is. It's very. It's visually very appealing. But that again, that's not why I watch TV. Yes, it's part of it, but it's not the entire aspect. I'm not gonna watch something just because it's pretty. It's got to have a good story, and the anime, it's not there for me. That's just how I feel.
What are your go-to animes? I'm curious.
My go-to animes: Attack on Titan, beautiful and a great story. Talk about something that lasted one season. One of my favorite animes is Akame ga Kill. That was great, short and sweet, simple story, fun to watch.
You like High School of the Dead, don't you?
No, I don't. I forgot where I was going with this, man.
you're just thinking of High School of the Dead. You're like, damn it, he caught me. It sounds like you like a lot of horror anime, like gore anime.
I don't. I mean, maybe. I don't even know where I would classify myself.
I think the shows that you just mentioned kind of line up with it, but
those two, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but man,
I'll say this, and Vince, watch the fucking show. Two.
What show?
Cowboy Bebop.
I watched it. We did a whole episode, me and you.
But
I was sadly absent.
It gets me so mad. So I understand why you don't like it. It's from the heyday of like when I started watching it, which was like back then.
You just gave him so much shit.
Yeah, but I understand.
Just like, but I
understand. I'm not going to be a dick or anything like that. Like everyone has their own choices. Like
absolutely. I totally agree.
I'm very passionate of what I like and what I enjoy. Like everyone has their own opinions. I won't ever say anyone's wrong unless they say something fucking dumb. Then I'm like, okay, maybe let's talk about that for a second. Right. But no, he doesn't like it because it's his opinion. And my opinion's always been that during that time, the animes that were out were always kind of like teenage punching animes where they're like, hey, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, Rurouni Kenshin, Outlaw Star. They were cliche punching animes, like fighter animes, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw Cowboy Bebop, that was the first time I was like, there's a lot of story behind this. This is a talkie. This isn't very much a shoot 'em up. We're going to fight. No, there's a lot of character development in there, in these characters, where I'm like, I'm watching this as a kid and I'm like, I did not expect this to happen. And watching it as an adult, it's still the same. There are still the goofy parts that make the show, oh, I'm watching a cartoon, but other parts are just so beautifully done and the characters are so beautifully developed. That's why I liked it.
See, again, you like what you like. There's nothing wrong with it. I understand why someone like you would appreciate Bebop, and I totally agree with it. It in its time, it broke the mold. It wasn't, Dragon Ball Z and all these, hand to hand. It kind of like it broke the mold for sure, and it was visually beautiful, like you said. You lost me at story development and character development. I think that is the weakest point of the show. And I think that's kind of the downfall of the live action is they take an anime, which to begin with, anime, in my opinion, doesn't really translate well into live action. I haven't seen anything that has translated well from anime to live action. I would love for something to come along and prove me wrong.
Death Note,
but-
baby, 2019.
But I think a lot of people held Bebop so close to their hearts because they grew up with it. It's one of the first animes that they probably fell in love with, and they didn't want anything to change. They wanted to see an exact shot for shot redone show, which they teased in the opening itself. So everyone was expecting that. Then we get this show that has no choice but to branch out and write characters' stories more and flesh the story out more, flesh their characters out more, and build on top of the anime that we already know. And I think that doesn't sit right with people because they don't want change. So I think that has a lot to do with why people started watching it, because they were interested, they grew up with it, and then they were like, you know what, this is too different. I'm kind of backing out.
So you're right. Like, you're fucking right, like, entirely. Like, and I hate admitting it because there are fans like me where I'm on the edge of it, where I got annoyed when I was watching it at times because I'm like, they're differing from the story. But as a person who like understands the writing process and understands that you can't really do that, because the beauty of the anime, and it's because they had that potential in the anime, is that you kept certain characters so mysterious and aloof, and it worked so well. Spike's character, you really never knew about him. You knew his name was Spike Spiegel, and then you eventually get hints that that's not his name, that it's kind of a name he gave himself, because, you know, what are the fucking odds your parents are going to name you Spike Spiegel? And then Faye Valentine's thing was never really fleshed out either. Even Jet, my favorite character in both shows, never gets too much fleshed out about him. And it does end on that point where these characters who you fell in love with, they still have that mystery about them. That was amazing. Right. And that's how it should have, like, that's how it ends. That anime has one of the best endings I've ever seen in my fucking life, where it's just, I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't watched it, but literally that scene where you just see Spike bang and then it cuts. Dude, it's so fucking like gives you chills. And then I got to finish my point.
Go. Sorry.
And when you watch the anime or the live action, I give them a lot of respect on what they did, and they did it well. I'm sure they had people. They had to have people that it had to be a mixed room of people who knew the anime and people who didn't know the anime. And they flushed out the characters, but that is one of the big gripes I did have with it, which almost turned me off, was giving these people who had no history, which gave them that mysteriousness, give them a history, explain it in detail. That's what kind of pushed me off a little bit. But then, like, after going past that and seeing it, I did enjoy it for what it was, where I'm like, they took the basic idea and did it like this. If someone went into this wanting to have a shot for shot thing, they were going to be disappointed. If you went in there just being like, okay, they're going to pay a little bit of honor to this, I'm going to enjoy it. That's where I'm at right now.
Right.
That's why I feel like it deserves a sequel. Sorry.
I love that we have such contrasting opinions on this, because I think it just reflects the overall consensus of the cancellation itself and the feel of the show. Like, there is an exact split, just like we started off the episode talking about, is there's people that kind of agree and they're not really that surprised that it got canceled, and then there's other people that are just like, dude, why'd you cancel this? This was awesome. So there's two sides with DJ. Where have you been?
Sorry, dude. I got.
You want to weigh in on this?
No. I'm happy just sitting back and watching the chaos. But I'll just say that you guys made all the points that I was thinking. Pretty much all the same stuff. But I will say that it's always fun seeing a anime adaptation and seeing how it works out. Sometimes you
Yeah.
get a Dragon Ball, then other times you get an Avatar, and
Oh,
well,
fuck. We
now
don't
we get
talk
a
about that.
now we get a Cowboy Bebop. So I'll say this much: we'll definitely be talking about it for the years to come. I'm sure whatever next anime adaptation comes out with, they can hopefully learn from this and uh, hopefully make it better.
Yeah, I hope so, man, because there's talks with Netflix to do other live action adaptations of a lot of fan favorite anime. So
I got a question.
it's a tight it's a balancing act, I feel, when you're doing something like this. So I hope they learn and they get it right. I would love nothing more to see something well executed.
I got a question for each of you, and this is how we'll end it if that's fine.
Yeah.
What is an anime that you hope they do and get it right? What's your top pick here? Any anime.
This is a good question.
Can I go first?
Go for it. Yeah.
The anime that I hope they do well, and I feel like it has the potential to do well as a
Hold
live
on,
action.
stop. You just asked that question so that you could say whatever was on your mind. I'm fucking sick of this shit, man. Just go.
Guys, what's your favorite color? You don't know? Mine's blue.
I just thought about it when you asked that, when you were talking about it. I'm like, this is a good question. But what I would love to see as a live action would be Trigun. It is in a Western on another planet, very Mandalorian slash kind of some horror vibes to it. I think it would translate so well if someone does it. If they do that right, that's going to be the renaissance. That's going to be like, oh, animes go. They're now their own thing. There's Marvel, there's DC, and now there's anime universe.
We'll see.
What about you, Mr. Yanni?
Card captors.
Oh shit!
I would love to see Sakura and trying to find all the Clow cards and Card Captors is one of my favorite animes. Like
it's a classic, dude.
I got Bebop. I think it was one of the last three that I watched. Hold on. I have my history pulled up. Funimation. It is last three I watched are Goblin Slayer, Sailor Moon, and Card Captors. So those are my last three.
That's a good one, shit.
So I would definitely like to see Card Captors because the
Cool.
Cloud cards, they look pretty badass in the anime. So if I could translate well onto the silver screen, that'd be dope.
I agree. And Vince, what do we get? What do we got? I'm curious. What do we got here?
So this is actually another one of my favorite anime, and now that I think about it, it is kind of gory. So maybe I do like gory stuff. I think a really good chance for someone to pick up an anime and make a really good live action version of it is Danganronpa. If you guys haven't seen Danganronpa, it's 3 seasons, I believe. Each season, it's one story, then it's a prequel, then it's a sequel, I believe. But basically, it's a very smart student that gets accepted into a private high school. Once he gets there, he meets, I think, I want to say 11 other students. They get locked in, and their principal shows up and says, "Hey, the only way to get out of here is to kill somebody and not get caught." So hence unleashes chaos, and people start getting picked off one by one, and it's like a murder mystery Saw kind of interesting murder mystery whodunit kind of thing. So, and there's really no crazy special effects or powers or anything like that has to be CGI'd. It's all very grounded for the most part. So I think that has potential to do well.
I'd see the shit out of that.
Dude, watch Danganronpa. It's also a video game too.
I'll check it out. Yeah, that sounds cool. That gives me very much like Saw / what is it? Escape room vibes that I would love to watch. I would love to see. I could see that. That's a good idea. All right, that was my question. Thank you guys for answering.
Cool. Well, hey, I mean, I got nothing really left to say for this one. If you guys are ready to wrap it up.
Look, guys and viewers, I would just like to say, in the infamous words of the main protagonist of Cowboy Bebop, whatever happens, happens in regards to the Netflix cancellation. However, thank you, you guys, for tuning in all for these 35 minutes with your favorite nerds with these words. As always, it is me, Sundance Kid, aka DJ.
It is me, Slick Space Cowboy Vic.
And it's me, Vince, aka it's Space Case, aka Vince.
We can never get
And
that right.
I waited all episode to say this. See you later, Space Cowboys.
Bang.